Hi, it's Jeanette from Mindful Dexter. We're going to walk through a short practice together today called RAIN. And RAIN is an acronym. The first way that I heard about it was from a meditation teacher called Tara Brach. And it's a helpful way, I think, of compassionately and mindfully navigating challenging things and really bringing kind of a sense of self-compassion, which I think is a big part of being able to enter into conversations or experiences that bring discomfort. So having some skill at self-compassion, keeping that skill nearby is a really handy way to keep yourself grounded. So to begin, go ahead and invite kind of a moment of just embodying your practice, just to take a moment to drop in, settle in, sense into where you are in your home, the room where you sit, and really sensing into your body, eyes closed if you can. And just really feeling your way into a deep sense of belonging in this time, in this place, right now. And you can go ahead and take a deep breath in through your nose. And when you think you're at the very top of your breath, see if you can take maybe one or two more sips of air in, and then slowly exhale. Sometimes when we think that we're breathing fully, there's still, another 15 or 20% capacity there. So just using the breath here for a few rounds of breathing to kind of find that additional capacity that maybe you didn't know that you had. Becoming a little more aware that there's space there for more. Maybe do that once more, and then let your breath come into more of a natural pace now. And notice which parts of your body maybe feel a little bit tense. Notice which parts feel relaxed. And rather than trying to adjust anything, rather than trying to force relaxation to come to the parts that are tense, see if you can simply notice what you're feeling without changing it. Maybe notice places of pressure. Notice places of ease. Places of discomfort. Maybe places where you sense some tingling or warmth. Notice your breath as your belly rises and falls with each inhale and each exhale. And again, rather than trying to change your breath, just notice it for a few rounds of breathing here. Just following your natural breath for a few moments. And from this place of now having a bit more grounding and being aware of your body, being supported by the chair or the floor, maybe feeling the contact points where your body is touching, whatever's underneath it. Now, if you can, see if you can sense into all of the generations of human development and wisdom that your own life carries. See if you can sense into the way that you are, in a significant sense, kind of a product of your ancestors' wisdom and of all the struggles that they survived. All those things, those, kind of inherited things, many of which you didn't necessarily choose or have control over, are now part of what you bring into your ways of knowing about and responding to all the challenges that you face. So just taking a moment to, notice that whole package of who you are. the cultures that you represent, the experiences that you bring to the party. And now bringing your awareness to your mind. See if you can allow your thoughts to flow through your mind. And see if you can notice those thoughts as if they were just clouds passing through, passing by overhead. And rather than trying to focus on a thought or solve a thought, see if you can just let it come. And then let it float on by in its own time. Just putting a little bit of distance between yourself and your thought. You're just watching the thought. You're not becoming the thought. You're just observing it. And see if you can maybe even notice the space between your thoughts. And as we move into this process of this rain meditation, if you are currently encountering a relationship or a situation that's maybe giving you some difficulty, you can bring that issue to mind now. And even just doing that, right, can maybe produce some reaction. Maybe you feel a little bit of tightening in your chest, or maybe you sort of feel your jaw clench a little bit. That's okay. It's good to notice those things, and as best you can, try not to judge yourself for them. And see if you can just bring a sense of curiosity and observation. And that's really the first part of our acronym. The R in RAIN is to recognize what's going on. And this means consciously acknowledging the thoughts, the feelings, the behaviors that are affecting us. Maybe recognize pain. Or maybe what you recognize is there are perhaps some constricting beliefs or emotions. Maybe some shame or fear, or maybe a squeeze of anxiety. Whatever you can notice and identify about the sensations that this encounter or experience produced in you. Just a simple step to recognize. And to go along with that recognition, the next part of the process is the letter A, which is for allowing. And allowing means letting those thoughts, those emotions, those sensations to simply be there. And of holding some space for those things to exist. Letting the experience be what it is. And that choice of allowing the thoughts, the emotions, the sensations to be doesn't mean that we have to agree with them, or that we have to want them there, or that we're proud of them. It's just honestly acknowledging their presence. Maybe opening yourself up to see the full picture. And sometimes that means allowing any discomfort, right, to bubble up. Viktor Frankl once said, between the stimulus and the response, there is a space, and in this space lies our power and our freedom. So we're creating that space, allowing those thoughts, those sensations to exist. And the next piece of the meditation is the letter I, where we investigate with kindness and with care. And in this part, we are really calling on our natural curiosity, our desire to know truth and to direct that kind attention to our experience. So just simply asking, what is happening inside me? What part of this experience is kind of, vying for my attention? And what am I believing about this experience? How am I experiencing it in my body right now? What physical sensations are going along with this experience? This part is kind of almost a fact-finding mission, right? When we're looking at what's happening and taking the time to investigate. And the last part is the letter N, which is for nurture with self-compassion. Nurture with self-compassion. And for this part, there's actually nothing that you have to do except to just kind of relax into the awareness that you are not identified by the difficulty that you are encountering. It doesn't define you. It isn't you. And see if you can just continue to curiously observe it, full stop, without judging your own response or your thoughts or your past attempts to fix or solve this. And any other thoughts that arise, instead of engaging with them or trying to push them away, you can just see them as a signal that your mind has shifted, which is completely natural. So that act of noticing when your mind has shifted, it's really just a cue, a reminder to gently come back to this moment right now. And through that consistency of focusing on the breath, just like we did at the beginning, you can start to kind of reel the mind back into a flow. Every time you take a conscious breath, you take one step closer to really being able to direct and focus the mind with intention. And as you practice this meditation with all 4 letters, R for recognize, A for allow, I for investigate, and N for nurture with self-compassion, you might notice that this process is kind of a continuous one, where you might find yourself going back to the R and moving through each step multiple times, maybe to kind of examine different facets of what you are experiencing. And that is totally good. can move through each step whenever you need to. And it's really common to, as you unpack sensations or thoughts around a challenge, it's like peeling the onion, right? There are sometimes new layers of reactions or responses, and they each deserve your attention, your ability to recognize and allow and investigate and, of course, nurture. In this process of responding to challenges and addressing the discomfort that we experience or that other people maybe are experiencing, it really involves and actually requires doing what we are doing right now, focusing on our own personal practice and what we bring into the encounter, what we bring into the world. We're all met with challenges continually, right, of what it means to live in peace or contentment in our sometimes very challenging world. So this is a great skill to recognize that mindfulness, the more that we practice this, really translates into an effort to make the world, our world, a better place for us and for the people around us, a place that we would all like to live in. I hope this has been helpful. Thanks for spending time on your mindfulness practice today.